Okay, earlier recommending a Motorola phone was quite simple. Like, if you wanted the best phone on a budget, you picked the Fusion. If you wanted a proper value for money phone with a few premium features, you picked the Edge or some years Edge Pro. But then in 2026, there's now Edge 70 Pro Plus and now this, the Edge 70 Max. This is priced under 50,000 rupees, and here's something interesting. The Edge 70 Pro Plus is also selling for around 48,000 rupees. So just like you, even I also had the same thought. Why does this Max series even exist? So I spent the last few days trying to answer that exact question. So stick around till the end, because that answer is a very, very interesting one, and it will also open your mind about the Indian smartphone market. Pradeep, TechWiser, let's go. So it comes in this typical Motorola box, and this is what you get inside. Now, one thing I really like about Motorola's charger is that they support PD charging, which means you can use the same charger to charge your laptop, so you don't have to carry a separate charger everywhere around. Quite useful. Now, in my short usage with this phone, here are 3 things that it does best in its price range. Number 1 has to be performance. The Edge 70 Max comes with Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 chipset along with the fastest RAM and storage type. Currently, this is the only phone to come with Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 in this price range. On Antutu, it scores about 30 lakhs. Next, we wanted to see if there is any heating issues, because Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 is known for that. So in our CPU throttling test, the graph wasn't the greenest. So again, we wanted to check if the same experience replicates in real life performance. So we pushed it full throttle with gaming in Wuthering Waves. We kept all the settings to high. A small thing to note here is it does support Vulkan graphics, and if you're hearing it about the first time, in very simple words, the game can directly talk to the GPU to load the frames or render the games faster and in high quality. So we played the game for about 40 minutes and we got an average of 57.4 FPS, which is very good considering the load it had. And in our gameplay, the phone didn't overheat as such. It got a bit warm, but nothing uncomfortable. Like, the side frames here are metallic, so I was expecting the phone would be uncomfortable to hold while gaming, but that was not the case here. Part of it is also because Motorola is using a larger vapor chamber for cooling here because the phone is big, but that's not the case here. But part of the reason also is this is a big phone, so Motorola could put a larger vapor chamber in this, and this right here is smart. And not just the main cooling layer, they also added different cooling layer on different parts of the phone, which makes the heat much more controlled. Now, one thing to note here is BGMI currently here is supported only at 60 FPS, but it can go to 120 FPS later on with an update. And it's not just heavy gaming that it can handle, it can also handle multitasking pretty smoothly. Like, I was watching the Argentina versus Egypt FIFA World Cup highlights, quite controversial. And I had Zomato open on a split screen and I wanted to have a snack. My FIFA group chat on WhatsApp opened in PIP mode, and it handled all of this smoothly. Like, the performance here is maxing, just like Max Holloway this weekend. If you know, you know. And the second thing has to be the display, because now it comes with a 2K LTPO AMOLED display, and as of now, this is the only phone to have this in this price range. So if I just keep the home screen or the lock screen, the refresh rate goes down to 1 Hz. Now this helps extremely in power saving, and when I swipe up on the home screen, it again goes back to 120 Hz refresh rate. Now the display here is capable of going up to 144 Hz, but it only does in some selected games. Now in terms of content watching, the colors are punchy, the blacks were deep, and everything felt crisp. Plus, the display here gets quite bright, and not just indoors, even outdoors while using the map, the display was easily visible even under direct sunlight. One thing to note here is the display is HDR compatible, but Netflix doesn't support HDR here. However, Amazon Prime has the HDR support, and even on YouTube, HDR works absolutely fine. Now, in terms of speakers, it comes with dual speakers with Dolby Atmos, and have a listen to my favorite song. This is what I listen all the time. Now, along with the display and speakers, I also like the design. Like, it's very close to what Motorola phones looks like, but at the same time a bit different. Like, have a look at this green color. Like, it almost looks like this is vegan leather, but once you touch it, you realize it's a proper glass back. Even the side frames, if you see here, it is made up of metal, so it feels very solid and premium to hold. It also gets a flat frame, which makes the phone easier to grip, and comes in 3 different colors. Among all of them, I really like this aqua grey color. And despite having a massive 7100 mAh battery, the phone never felt too heavy. Like, if you look at the weight distribution, it is quite balanced, just like life and the world. Now, in terms of build, it comes with IP68 and IP69 rating. So even if you're in Mumbai caught in heavy rain, you don't really have much to worry about. And it also gets military grade certification, so it can handle a bit of a fall. Now, you might be thinking, why there is this change? Like, why does Motorola suddenly go for a glass pack? But there's actually a very good reason for it. This phone has support for magnetic charging up to 25 watt. And the magnets, they are actually really strong. Like, I can literally hold the phone just by the charging cable. Usually, we've seen this on iPhones and Pixels having this feature, but now the H70 Max brings this under 50,000. And it also supports all the MagSafe accessories available out there, like all those crazy ones. So we have this MagSafe fan. So if you are in Delhi and for some reason it is still very, very hot, you can have a MagSafe fan. It works quite well, like it grips the phone perfectly. And in terms of battery, it comes with a big 7100 mAh silicon carbon battery, and you will not be disappointed by the battery life. In our short usage of all day clicking photos, watching content, playing games, it easily lasted 1.5 days on a single charge. And talking about charging, it also charges up pretty fast. The phone supports 90-watt fast charging, and you can top it up to 100% in about 45 minutes. Now coming to the camera or the cameras, the H70 Max comes with a dual camera setup. Now the photos in daylight, they come out good. If you see the green in the trees and grasses or the blues in the sky along with the skin tone, they look closer to natural. Now one of the reasons here is H70 Max is using Pantone validated cameras, so they get a bit of help in the color processing. So the colors and skin tone details are closer to real life. And even when you zoom in, you still see good amount of details. Like we took this shot at 3x and still it had plenty of details. Now in terms of zoom, you can go only up to 20x, that's digital zoom, and in that it heavily uses AI to regenerate the frame and subject. Now talking about portraits, you can take portraits at 23mm, 35mm or even 50mm, and the results look nice. The background blur looks natural and the subject separation is also good. Now the ultra wide angle camera here feels more like a typical 8 megapixel ultra wide. Like the output is what you would get with an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Also this ultra wide angle camera doubles up as a macro camera. Now in terms of selfies, you get a 32 megapixel front selfie camera. It clicks sharp selfies with good details. Now coming to videos, you can do 4K 60 FPS max. In fact, you can even record HDR videos at 4K 60 FPS, and this is how the quality of the video and stability looks like. Now before we head to the conclusion, let's talk about the software. So the H70 Max comes with Hello UI based on Android 16. Now the good thing about Hello UI is not only it has good design, but it also has a good amount of features now. Like for example, it comes with app lock built in, so we can lock the personal apps, because we all have that one friend who takes your phone and then goes through your gallery or other personal stuff. Like, come on Ajay, why do you have to do that? Now along with this, there's one feature called Unplugged. So if you want to stay focused, you can set a timer and choose which apps should stay accessible in that time frame. Like if you're in office, you can only keep apps like Slack, Gmail and Teams, so you can focus on work, while apps like Instagram or YouTube stay logged until your timer ends. Great for productivity. Now all of these features are good. There are also some third-party pre-installed apps. Now you can go here and uninstall them. Plus it also has a smart lock screen where it would keep changing wallpapers automatically. Good thing is, during the setup, you can turn it off and it gives you the option to do that. Then there's also PhonePe's Indus app installed as well, which can again be easily disabled. Now in our usage, we didn't find any issues from optimization perspective, but I've seen some people mentioning about Hello UI optimization on X. So if I see software on Motorola phones 4 to 5 years back, it has improved quite a lot now in terms of design and features. Now they just need to work on the optimization area that would make Motorola's game even better. Now in terms of software update, it will get 3 years of Android updates and 5 years of security updates. So that was the new H70 Max, and in terms of pricing, it starts from 49,999 with offers and all of that. The sale starts from 20th July on Flipkart. So coming back to the question in the beginning, why does this H70 Max even exist? See, in our H70 Pro Plus video, we said that Motorola is following Xiaomi's old playbook. As Xiaomi started moving towards premium phone, there was a gap left behind and Motorola stepped in. But after using the H70 Max, I think Motorola has spotted another gap in the market. Before the price hike, 30K was a good price point where we saw most value for money phone launches. But in 2026, 50K I believe is the price point where you will see good phones. And earlier, like a few years ago, if someone had asked for a good phone around 50,000 rupees, the recommendation was pretty straightforward. Buy a OnePlus. Like the current OnePlus phone that is good at that price is OnePlus 13, which is like 1.5 years old. And there's OnePlus 15R, which now starts at 60,000 rupees. God bless 2026. So suddenly that 50,000 all-rounder flagship category feels surprisingly empty, and I think that's exactly where H70 Max is targeted at. You get almost flagship performance, 2K LTPO display, Qi 2.2 charging, and all of this in a glass and metal build. These are all good premium features, and now that we understand why this exists, I think that's exactly where the H70 Max is made for. Now I'm curious to know your thoughts. According to you, now if you want to buy a phone, what is your budget in 2026? Let us know in the comments. On that note, this is signing off. See you in the next video. Pew, pew, pew.